Collections on Westpac Banking second half profit falling 13%.
Yeah, look, I think it's an example of the headwinds commercial banks in this market are currently facing. Very, very anemic credit demand and cost challenges in front of them. So the last 2 to 3 years has been pretty kind to their businesses. They generally been reporting record profits and cash earnings. The market's now worried about 2012 and beyond.
All right, best performer out of the big four then in Australia this year?
Well, I think the standout result is being generated by Commonwealth, CBA, but in practice all big four banks in the domestic market here have done pretty well. They've maintained their margins, they have managed their cost of funding pretty well. If you look at the business markets in Australia, they certainly in the corporate and SME segments are now net depositors into the banking system, so they're simply not borrowing. And the retail mortgage markets are equally
Christmas interest rate cut that we got yesterday, how does that affect the lender's bottom line? I know Australian citizens like it, but what about for those at the banks?
Well, again, it's going to make their task going into 2012 all the more difficult when you have this very anemic credit appetite across all the market segments. In terms of its real impact as a 0.25% slice off the official cash rate, we don't see that having any stimulatory effect in terms of appetite for credit. We don't see that changing the way in which mortgage borrowers and indeed business borrowers are managing their affairs.
Okay, but Paul, would you say that as a whole, are banks worth getting into considering the global events taking place right now? You know, look, Greece again holding another referendum, just not only on the rescue package, but its entry into the Eurozone. There's so many headwinds, and with financials really leading the way down in markets these days. Is it still a buy, though, in your view?
Well, look, you're absolutely correct. I think each day simply brings additional barriers for financials. There's a bit of a disconnect, in our view, between the underlying commercial performance of these banks and what's been happening with their share values. If you look at the big four Australian banks, for example, their share prices have really gone nowhere over the last 9 months, notwithstanding the fact that they're coming off record profit announcements. So it's a peculiar market that's absolutely driven by this lack of certainty around what tomorrow is going to bring.
All right. Paul, thank you so much for your insights this morning. Paul Dowling, Principal Analyst at East End Partners.